Okay, welcome to our next section, and today we're doing a really twisty, this is a really bad spindle, plant which grows in my backyard, which grows pretty much throughout the East Coast, and it is one of the most annoying plants around, especially in the fall. Its name is Hackelia, and also known as beggar's lice as a nickname, and it has a whole bunch of seeds that are very velcro like. They're very small and they hold on very strong, and when you brush past this plant, all of the seeds will stick to your clothes, and it's horribly annoying, and you literally have to just stop what you're doing and spend like a whole bunch of minutes hand picking these things off your clothes, because a lot of them just don't come out in the laundry. They stick really, really well, and they scratch because they're velcro like fibers. They go right through your clothes a lot of times. They love to stick to your socks, your lower pants legs. Anywhere it brushes against, it's all, and the seeds release from the plant very, very easily. I only got 2 samples this year. This short one, which is 10 inches, and this other one here, which is about 16, maybe 18 inches. I didn't really measure it, but you can see it's definitely not straight. So, but this is my only specimen, so we're going to give this one a shot. Pine base reload. You can see there's nothing in the notch. It's already mated. Bark taken off. The base end, top end of the spindle is rounded off. And I'm going to take a little bit of paper towel, shove that in the notch to take up space. Give me a second here. All right. Well, what's the diameter? We're looking at 3/8 of an inch. Pretty much exactly. Which is good. Unfortunately, this thing is really twisted. Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Give me a minute there. There we go. Let's get this warmed up. It's a little hard to maintain floating with something this twisty, so I'm trying to just work my way down the spindle. Unfortunately, what that means is I have to stop and start again. I think we have our coal. There we go. Hackelia coal. The only good thing about this plant is it can make fire. Alrighty, Hackelia, beggar's lice. Let's keep going. Okay, on to our next section. And today we're doing Moth Mullen. As you can see, these were collected July 8th on a Sunday. And this is January. So they're obviously seasoned over 6 months. They were put away. So what I'm going to do is trim these down. These ones are over 2 feet long here. And so I'm going to cut everything down about... Actually, I'm going to leave one maybe that long. I'm going to trim the rest, just for laughs. Let's do a really long one. Alright, I'm going to get these prepared and put a base reload in. And let's do a hand drill. Here we go. Alright, so I cleaned up the whole lot of them and I made them all the same size. So these are all 24 inches. This one here, however, I kept at its actual length, and it's 27 inches. It's really long, right? It's nice and straight, too. This is a really good one. So, we're going to do a pine base reload. The end here, which you can see I cleaned the bark off the end so that doesn't interfere. It's pretty much exactly 3/8 of an inch. So I used the 3/8 inch Forstner bit, and that fits perfectly in there. So I'm gonna mate this together, put a notch in it, round it off the top as usual. Now, moth mullen is an actual pith plant. Now it looks hollow because I just dug out the pith a little bit, but I assure you the whole entire length of it is full pith. So, alright, so let me get this mated, put a notch in it, and I'll be back and light it up. Okay, so I secured my base reload with a little bit of buckskin in there because it kept popping out on me twice. It did. Ruined everything too. But that's my fault for not keeping everything stable. Correct? It's up to me to balance the variables. So we have to warm this up again. And there's our moth mullen coal. That one made me earn it too. So I appreciate the challenge. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, welcome to our next section. And we're going to attempt a hand drill with pokeweed. These are some pokeweed branches. They're well seasoned. This month is February. I just collect these from outside, from my backyard. And they were a little wet, and I took the bark scrapings off. Everything is dry now after being inside for a while. Now, you may recall from our various variations of spindle reloads and their methods of being attached to a reloading spindle. The pokeweeds are pithy, but the pith comes right out, as you can see, and now it's hollow. And since they're basically hollow, I've taken a bamboo chopstick and inserted the chopstick inside the tube of the pokeweed branch and secured it down with a hose clamp. So we're doing a Western Red Cedar base reload. It's a very small one, as you can see. It's got a piece of buckskin underneath it because it's a little small and won't fit in the reloading base. So that's fit in there. Alright. So it's mated. So we need to get this warmed up and ignited. Alright, so let's give this a shot. There we go, pokeweed on cedar. And we have friction, as we could tell by the sound change. I'm doing a nice long warm-up, collecting my dust. Now you notice I didn't put anything in the notch. It's a very shallow notch. So I'm just going to start going for it. To ignite it. And let's see what we got. Oh, watch out, honey. My daughter's cleaning the floor. So we have our coal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's narrow in on that. Pokeweed hand drill, ladies and gentlemen, although it is a spindle reload. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, welcome to our next section. Today we're doing Queen Anne's lace, also known as wild carrot. So, wild carrots are one of those biennial plants where the first year is just a rosette on the ground. very low to the ground, and the second year shoots up a stalk. So there's a lot of plants like that, like mullein, burdock, a lot of stalk plants like that that are the biennials. So you may find rosettes one year and you may find stalks another year, but it depends on where you look. So Queen Anne's lace, a lot of times, is very hard to find when it's really large. So these specimens that I found here, I found near a highway guardrail where they can't mow. So it was always protected, and they grew really, really tall. So I saw them and I collected them back in July 8th to be exact. So all of these specimens here are trimmed. So these are 21 inches. And I selected one here. And I believe the diameter on this one is just over 3/8. It's a hair over 3/8 of an inch. Okay. As you can see, I mated the bottom a little bit. Clean up the bark. Clean up the top. Our pine-based reload with nothing in it, in the notch. Paper towel going in the notch to take up some space. Okay. Push that in there. My hands are starting to get really raw. So let's warm this up. As you can see, it's not very straight. It's quite bendy where the branches come off. But the top is very straight, so I'm able to float fairly well without any problems right now. Wild carrot, Queen Anne's lace. Queen Anne's lace. All right. Very nice. Let's keep going. It's a pithy plant, so it's not a hollow. Okay, just to keep that in mind. And try to find ones as straight as possible. You know, right where these nodes are, it can be really tough. So, all right. Let's keep going. Okay, welcome to our next section. And today we're doing wild roses. So these were roses that I collected on an old farm. Okay, they were collected green, so these are not dead branches that were dried and deteriorated sitting in the shrub. Okay, so these were cut green in the summer. So these are several months seasoned. Okay, And the first one we're going to start off with is a bojo. Okay. So as you can see, I scraped off the bark on the base end. It's rounded off. It's mated. The top end is rounded. It's greased. I'm going to grease it a little bit more, I think. Some linseed oil. And we're using our lignum vitae pressure hand brace, bamboo bow, pine base reload. You can see it's mated with a notch. It's kind of a rectangular notch in there, just to hold it in place. I'm putting the notch on the side so that the unilateral forces do not go into the notch, burn into the notch. This is a nice tall spindle. Actually, let me slide this over. So let's get this warmed up. It's not perfectly straight on its axis, so you can hear the vibration. So I'm going for a lot of speed with the rotation. Let's have a look. Oh, there's our coal. I can see it already. So this is rose. And there we go. Rose Bojo. Alright. Okay, welcome to our next fire hack. And today we're doing wild rose. So here we have some example of some roses that were collected. These were collected green and put away, which means that their density is harder. So these aren't the kind of density you would use for a hand drill. That's too dense. So what we're going to do is try and step it up. As you know, it's more pieces, less effort. So what we're going to do is a mouth drill. Let's put a little bit of oil on there. Some linseed oil. And our paper towel for our bite plate. We're going to put a little bit of jute inside of our cedar base reload. Okay. A little bit of friction. All right. So we have to get this mated, warmed up. As you can see, there was an attempt on that before, but here this is not mated, it's just drilled. So, oops. Okay, here we go. And this isn't very straight. So it reverberates inside my skull a little bit. I need to get a little higher. Okay. It's there. And there's your rose. Wild rose. Cut green, used as a mount drill. Higher density. So it's not like it was sitting out in the weather for the winter. And can do a hand drill with it. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, here we go. So, what you're looking at here is, well, it's not Albus Dumbledore's, the Elder Wand. It's not that. This is Smartweed. And I collected it in the fall of this 2012. But just so you have an idea, it's January 2013 as we're doing this. As you can see, I used my daughter's Hello Kitty duct tape to keep these together, to let them dry. So these look like some pretty good spindles. They're about 18 inches long. Okay, but I have a really, really thick section here. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to do bow drill. So I'm going to take my bamboo bow, my lignum vitae pressure hand brace, and I have two spindles, but we're going to use this one. I greased the end already, and I've already mated and notched the pine base reload. Okay, so you can see there's nothing in the notch. You can see there was no coal in there previously because it's not burned. So let me put this on the floor and let's go. Let's give it a shot. Be right back. So here's the spindle. It's got one wrap, so we're just doing a plain old bojo. You can see there's nothing in the notch. You can see we're using our reloading base. Alright, so let's get set up here. I'm going to keep the notch toward you. Not that you'll see much, but I never knew that smartweed grew this big. Actually, I thought it was always this little low growing plant. So one day I'm driving up and down the highway and I see this huge plant that looks like smartweed. Turns out it is. It's another form of it. So what do you think I did? I jumped out and I collected it right away. So let's get this warmed up since it's already mated. I haven't done that in a while. There we go. Let's try that again, shall we? I see what the problem is. It's starting to burn out the notch. You know what, let me face it toward me and see what happens. You know what, I'm going to face it sideways. That should take care of the problem. I'm going to face the notch that way. And then it shouldn't go flying out now. There we go. Okay, nice and easy. Let's build that dust. No need to rush. Nice and smooth. I think we got it. Yes, we do. So here is a smartweed spindle coal completed on a pine base reload. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, for your enjoyment and pleasure. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so just for laughs, we're going to do a smartweed hand drill. You can see there's nothing in the notch except a little bit of jute. That's a 3/8 inch diameter hole on the base reload there. Here's our smartweed. Okay. As you can see, I took the bark off on the very end so it doesn't interfere with the coal dust creation. Okay, you can see it's got a pretty good thick wall there, and as you can see it's definitely hollow. It's got some nodules in it that are pretty sizable. The problem with this one is it's bent. I don't know if you can see, it's got a good arc going in here, and I smoothed out the top a little bit so it doesn't cut into my hands. So let's see how this goes, shall we? I think we should stabilize the board first, right? Okay. Get set up. You can see it's really crooked by how it spins, right? So this isn't even mated yet. me get into a good position here. 1 second. So we're getting some smoke. Oh no. Oh, almost. I'm going to leave everything exactly the way it is and come right back to it. Okay. Okay, so we're ready to give this a shot one more time. As you can see, the coal dust is still in there, but it's not smoking. Okay. So what we're going to do is try to warm this up and light it up. Okay. There we go. There is our Smart Weed hand drill. Very nice. All right, let's keep going. All right, so last year I harvested a new plant that I have never used and actually never knew existed, and that was sneezeweed. Sneezeweed. Okay, got some really good ones. I'm pretty good friends with my neighbor, which is really great. He's a great guy. And he had these flowers growing in his yard, and I never saw them before, and I saw that they would probably make really great handle stalks once they matured, and I was right. So I've never used sneezeweed ever before in my life. So today's the day I took out what I harvested and made a nice spindle with this one. Okay, it's mated with some yucca. Now, as you can see, there's nothing in the notch. The notch should be empty. Okay, there's nothing in there. So we're doing this from scratch, and actually this is my first ever sneezeweed hand drill. It's already mated, so we're warming it up. Getting some really good smoke. Getting a good dust pile. A lot of good dust pouring out. So I'm going to increase speed. See if we just can't light that up. Oh, and we got a coal. Look at that. My first ever sneezeweed coal with yucca. All right. Hope you like that. And I got another one under my belt. Thanks for watching. All right, and welcome to the black snake root section. As you saw, I collected the black snake root, but the thing you should notice, as you also saw in the pictures, I could not find a single straight enough area for a hand drill. Therefore, I had to cut the entire thing up for spindle reloads, as you saw on the bandsaw pictures. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these aside for another day in our container. But since I can't do a hand drill as a whole piece with it, and it is a little bit more dense than usual, we're going to be doing a mouth drill. Alright. If you remember the drumstick version of that. So I scraped all the bark off and I started to mate it together. By the way, this is a 3/8 inch diameter spindle reload. Here's our base reload. It's pine. As you can see, it's mated, has a notch. There's nothing in there. Alright. So the black snake root is one of those late flowering, late fall, late autumn plants. And so it's actually been sitting outside. Actually this is the month, late January. It's now late January. And I just brought them from inside, like just today. So they've been weathered a little bit, because when I wanted to collect them, they were still fairly green and fairly dense in early winter. So we're about to give these a shot. So let's put our paper towel on there. I'm not going to put anything in the notch just yet. Actually, let's just put a little bit of paper towel in there, just to raise that up a hair. All right. And there we go. There's our coal. Black snake root. Alright. Let's do our thing. Not too shabby. First try, too. Alright. Late flowering plants, black snake root. Alright, let's keep going. If you can remember a while back, I said I was going to collect some nascent growths off my box elder tree, which is in my backyard. They were collected July 1st of 2012. Just so you have an idea, today's date is January 26th, 2013. So it's been over 6 months for these to sit and dry out and season. And what we're going to be doing today, even though they look green, I can pretty much guarantee you they are dry. We're going to be doing box elder on box elder. So we're going to be taking one of these larger branches, and that'll be a base, and we'll be taking one of these smaller branches and making a spindle. We'll be putting them together and making friction fire. Okay, I'm going to start preparing the pieces. Be right back. Okay, so I just cut a section off this larger branch, this piece here, and on my bandsaw I cut off the top and the bottom just to flatten it out. Now I'm going to select one of these to be a spindle. So here I selected this one nascent growth from this pile here. Okay, and I rounded the top and smoothed out the bottom, took the bark off near the end, and I'm going to try and do a mouth drill like this one. So as you can see, I marked out where I gotta take out the wood for the base socket for the spindle, and I'm gonna put a notch in and we're gonna give this a shot. Be right back. Okay, so I've started to mate it. I put a notch in, as you see. These nascent growths, actually most nascent growths, have a pithy center. So I just took that out just a little bit with the knife. Took one quick scrape. So I'm going to set up the camera and let's knock out a coal. Be right back. Okay, so as you can see, there's nothing in the notch. And we're ready to give this a shot. Here's our oak mouth brace, pressure mouth brace. Paper towel, right? If you remember that. It's already greased. Again, it's somewhat mated, so we're just going to warm it up, get it lit. And there's our coal. That was quick. That's quicker than I thought, actually. So nascent growth base, and this branch probably came off this branch too. So that worked out really well. And as you can see, I got a pretty good supply. It's going to last me a good long while. So those are nascent growths, and this was box elder. All right, let's keep going. So we're going to try the box elder nascent growth with a hand drill. As you can see, there's nothing in the notch because we just did the mouth drill. Warm that up. And there's our coal. That was box elder nascent growth hand drill. Mouth drill and then hand drill. Not too shabby, right? Alright, on to the next.